Welcome, Valpo fans, to another edition of Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. I'm Aaron Levitt. Joining me today is the head coach of the Valpo women's basketball team, Mary Evans. Coach Evans, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
Been a good start to the year for your crew, 2-0. You go up, you win at Central Michigan last Monday in the season opener, and then come home on Saturday and take down Southern Miss, both 7-point victories. And let's just start with your general thoughts on the two wins to start the year.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I think our staff is excited about is just the effort and energy that this team's playing with. I think they've been very willing to do the things that we've asked them to do and to do it with great energy and to really work well together. And I think that's been the reason why they've found success, is just their ability to share the basketball on the offensive side of things. And then their communication defensively, I think, has been really, really good.
You look at kind of some of the players who maybe weren't focuses of the offense in the past, necessarily kind of more role players who you're asking to step into more alpha roles this year: Leah Ernest, Olivia Brown, Elise Pitts. And I think over the first two games, all three of them have really taken on that responsibility and are kind of showing that leadership out there on the court.
Yeah, I think, especially I think Elise has done a great job kind of stepping into that point guard void and running our team. And I think Saturday, she showed an improvement with her turnovers. That was something that we talked about after the game at Central. Thought she did a really good job running our team, pushing tempo when we had it, but also then slowing it down and really doing a good job taking care of the basketball. And I think Olivia and Leah have both been really seeking their shots. And I think the remainder of the team has been doing a great job running our offense. And I think, Leah and Olivia have also done a great job sharing the basketball and trusting their teammates and finding the open players, and those players have been making open shots. So it's good to see that more team basketball. That's something that is going to be a part of our basketball system. And on any given night, I would imagine we've got between 6 and 8 kids that could easily have double figures plus with their abilities on the offensive side of the ball. And I think we're sharing it really well right now.
Yeah, you talk about any given night, some of these players, you look at the first two games right there, the season opener at Central Michigan, Katie Byer comes off the bench, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and really her first extended collegiate action. And then on Saturday against Southern Miss, you got Ella Van Wilden, who hasn't played a single minute going into the second half of that game. You call on her, she goes in there, she rebounds, she hits a couple threes, she hits her free throws. Mm-hmm. Just what is it about this group that enables them to be ready when they're called upon?
I think it's the work they've done in the off season. I mean, they've worked tremendously hard. They were in the gym a ton outside of what we've asked them to be in the summer. And they've really committed to growing as a team and growing with their chemistry on and off the court and growing as players. And I think, we recruited kids that we thought were very versatile and very talented. And it takes time to get used to college basketball, and it takes time to get used to our offensive and defensive philosophies. But I think they've really focused in, and I think they want to have success, and they're doing the things that they need to do to be successful. And the main thing is just playing hard. I mean, winning a college basketball game is not easy, and this team has embraced that difficulty really, really well. And they've been able to tell themselves that they can do things that maybe they physically in the moment don't feel like they can. And that's the things that I think are kind of carrying over into the games. And like I said, their camaraderie, the way they play together, the way they keep each other up, I think has been a big thing so far.
One thing that stood out for me from the first two games, and it goes right back to the first few minutes of that Central Michigan game, kind of a slow start offensively, but you keep running the offense. I think it was Leah got the lid off the basket, drove, finished a layup. And I think you've seen maybe in the past where you've had offensive droughts and people were trying to get it back at once, one pass and a three. Right. And something that stood out for me through the first two games is we hit those droughts, but we keep running our offense, trying to get to the rim, maybe shoot a three, but it's off a driving kick instead of just one pass.
Yeah, they've done a fantastic job. We've talked at length about not taking threes until we get a paint touch, whether that's a cut in there and a catch and a kick out, or a drive in there and a kick out. And I think they've done a good job listening to that. We've taken a couple of early ones against the zone or an occasional pop back, but they've been by shooters that that have that green light to do that. It's not by shooters that we would prefer to get that normal catch 1-2 into your shot, and they're used to taking those shots. So I think they're sticking with the offense. And I think the other thing that's a big difference is when we're going through these droughts, they're committed to still defending. And I think they're focused, and we've still got a ways to go. But I think I saw more people making contact and boxing out against Southern Miss than I've seen in a long time, and trying to rebound the basketball and do things correctly on that end of the floor, and communicate, and not just assume what each other are doing, but listen to each other and do what each other says defensively on our switching. And so I think we're committed to the defensive side of the basketball, and we're committed to running our offense and not getting frustrated on either one of those ends. And I think they're seeing that it pays dividends in the long run.
First time in program history that the team's been 2-0 with both of those games coming against D1 teams. You've got a chance to extend that here over the coming week, Wednesday at noon at the Arc against Eastern Illinois, the next Monday at the Arc at 6 p.m. against UAB. What do you need to do to keep the wins coming this next week?
I think we've got to continue to grow on the offensive side of the ball, continue to share it. These two teams are going to be a little different than our first two. I think they're going to, especially Eastern, they shoot the ball really, really well. And so we're going to have to know where shooters are, and we're going to have to rely heavily on our principals defensively and guarding them and do the things that we do. So, I think this team is all about just taking it day by day. And we got in the gym today and we got to work, and I thought we got a little bit better, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow and prep for Eastern and get out there and play as hard as we can. And that's all we can do.
Once again, coming out to the Arc noon on Wednesday, Eastern Illinois, 6 p.m. Monday against UAB. Coach Evans, good luck this week. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Aaron.
This has been Valpo Basketball Weekly, brought to you by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.